All right. 6 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. We have some guests here to kind of present on the sign from that you have a little packet from us and everything. So we'll let them go ahead and do that first. We'll move them to the front of the agenda where they can do their part and ease on out of here and let us take care of our business.
They may not want to be killing that quick.
We'll give them the option.
We really wanted to stay for dinner tonight.
With their clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I do enjoy my chicken fried steak and my chocolate pie. Well, thank y'all. I appreciate you allowing us to come this evening to talk to you a little bit about a project we're working on. My name is Stacy Brown, and I'm president of the Shreveport-Bossier Convention and Tourist Bureau, and we cover all of Caddo and Bossier parishes. And one of the projects we've been working on for many years is the Boom or Bust Byway. And some of y'all may not have realized that you are on the Boom or Bust Byway. So it's a loop around Highway 3049 and Highway 1 up to Highway 2, and then it goes from Caddo, Bossier, Webster, and into Claiborne parishes, and then it's a loop around Lake Claiborne. We've done a few projects along the byway over the years and are looking to do more. And we often invite other partners to be a part of that. So this time we have worked with the Shreveport Regional Arts Council, and many of y'all may have met Pam Atchison, the executive director, and she jumped on board and said yes. She got all excited about the byway. She is definitely worthy of clapping for and celebrating. And so we said we'd love to do some art along the byway, something that kind of brands the byway. So as you're going throughout all of the small towns, you recognize I'm on the byway. And so she came up with the idea of some beautiful gateway signs. So what we have before you is an example of some signs that we saw, that these are actually up in Canada. So it's a large cement base with a metal cutout on top of it. And so what we're looking at is there would be about 11 of these along the byway in the small towns. So you would know that it's similar. They would not all be exactly the same. They would be the same shape on the sides of the sign, but it would have your name at the top. So it would have Gilliam. It would have cutouts that depict your area. So things that you are interested in. You know, maybe it's the cotton. Maybe it's some of the pumping jacks. Definitely a sunflower. So what are those things that you are known for that you would love to have represented in that sign? Then it would have a cement base. The cement base is about 2 feet tall and about 16 feet long. So it's actually a little bit longer than the metal sign. So you would be able to sit beside it. So the overall dimensions it has here are a little bigger than it actually is. So as we've gotten more information about the signs, it will be no more than 10 feet, but it'll probably actually be more like 8 feet tall. It is visible from one side because our goal is that you look through the cutouts to see the beauty of the area behind it. So what we're looking for from y'all is to decide where you would like to place it. So the great thing is, through Pam's prowess with writing grants, she has received a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts. And then we have a wonderful match from the Caddo Parish Commission. So it's through their grants that we're able to build this beautiful sign in your community. So we want this to be something that you are proud of, but also something that helps drive economic development for your area. So part of our goal is to get people to stop, get out, look at the sign, take a selfie in front of the sign. There'll be a QR code on there, and that'll take them to a website that tells you more about what there is to do right here around you. So go to the grocery, go to the cafe, go to the historic museum you have in the library, and come to the wonderful park. Come back when it's Sunflower Festival or Heritage and Harvest Festival so that they know what's happening and want to spend some money here in your town. So that's our purpose, is to get more people here, get them to stay longer and spend money in your community and have a great time, as well as building community pride, because you do have a beautiful little town. So what we're looking for is for y'all to kind of think about where would be a good place for this. It doesn't absolutely have to be on public property, but it has to be accessed by the public. So they would have to give use of that piece of land for, I think it was 25 years. So the life of the sign, and might live longer than that, but probably at least that long. You would need to provide insurance coverage for that. So if somebody got out and they looked at the sign and they tripped and fell and something happened, that would be, you would be covered with that insurance. So it's, I think, a really great opportunity for your community, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have. And I brought some others with me. Charlie Rice is my right hand at the Convention and Tourist Bureau. She works with me all the time on the Boomer Best Byway. We come through your community quite often and love to promote it. And of course, you met Pam Atchison. With her is Crystal. And Crystal is working, she's the project manager for this particular project. Behind Pam is her lovely husband, Bob, who keeps us all straight. So we'd be glad to answer any questions that you might have. Hi, come on in.
We sure appreciate you coming. I guess the main question I have, and this may be something for the sheriff's office to go, but how far off the roadway does it have to be as far as for a safety standpoint?
It's better for it not to be in DOTD's right of way.
Okay.
So just beyond that.
Okay.
Yeah, and so thinking of, part of what you want is for them to stop and take a picture. So you want it to be some place where they are able to pull off safely off the road and be able to get out. And then also thinking about what would be behind it, because what you want them to do is stand in front of the sign and they'll be able to see through that sign to what's behind it. And our timeline is now. So once you get these grants, it's kind of like you have to wait a year before you hear whether or not you got the grant, but then it's, okay, now we got to get it. So we do need pretty quick decisions.
When was that? When would it be by?
We need to have the project installed by December 31st of this year.
Okay.
And celebrated. Let me add one thing, and that is that when we have received, I believe from your community, the icons that you would like to celebrate for the community. But then we are going to put out an artist call, and any artist across the spectrum of Northwest Louisiana can submit designs. For safety purposes, a team will select the top 3 designs that will work within, let me just say that we'll work within the design and be safe and have a great view, as Stacy's been speaking. But then we'll bring those top 3 designs back to you all for you all to prioritize the designs and say what you would like to see as your sign.
So how long is that process? I mean, I guess putting a deadline on us as far as y'all need within the next month or so would probably be ideal, or next week, or.
If we could have your decision in 2 weeks, that would be wonderful.
Okay, we can do that.
The National Environmental Protection Agency has to approve the site and make sure that we're not having to do any testing. The goal is that the sign sits basically on top of the land. There has to be a little dig in to level out the land a bit, but that the sign is to sit on top of the property. And we also have to make sure that it is not on historic property. I did not know that dirt is historic, but dirt can be historic, so we have to make sure we're not, accidentally putting it over a cemetery or anything that would cause eyebrows to raise that we had in some way denigrated the space. So as long as we have to get that permission once you all pick the site. And then our goal would be by May 1 to be able to have the artists start submitting their designs. We'd like to have them all submitted, approved, and agreed upon by the 1st of July, so then the signs can be fabricated.
How are y'all gonna get the word out to the artists? If they're interested, how are y'all gonna do that?
Well, first of all, through newspaper articles, but we have a list of 1,000 artists who have identified themselves on a directory called Culturalist. So if you know of any artists that and that's how we communicate. We send emails to everyone and send out the call that way. And if you have artists that you fear may not already know us, that's why we're here tonight to say we also want to use the opportunity to discover the artists in your
We
community.
have several, one that lives in this community that's very good, and then several in the area.
Say who that artist is.
Marilyn Adcock.
My daughter.
All right, well, we need to make sure we
She's
have
done stuff with the
Marilyn.
Bush Art.
Pardon me?
My
She does
daughter.
things with the Beaux-Arts Council?
She did when she was in high school. She was in the art program through Bush Arts Council.
Great.
That's good.
Okay.
And Gail Daigle.
That's two, I
Can
can.
I just go ahead? All right, here, just, let's put emails and phone numbers. And we will reach out to any artist. You have Kelly McDade and the accompanying in the Belcher parish, so Belcher, town of Belcher. So it doesn't, but we certainly would want to
It would be
give
neat
first
to have
priority
a
to an artist in your
out of the
community if they're
community to
designing.
do it. It would be kind of neat for a community person.
Yes.
Who lives in the community.
Absolutely.
Where is this sign gonna be located?
Well, that's what we've got to figure out. But speaking to her, the Boomer Bus Byway, it turns right here at the front of the store and goes out.
Yeah, so you'll see
More
the metal
Towards
signs.
Vivian.
You've probably seen some of those metal signs.
So it'd have to be on 3049 or
That
turning
look
here.
like this.
Right.
On highway, it'll be on First Street or 3049, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, because we look, the park wouldn't be on it, obviously, right
Yeah.
here wouldn't be on it. It'd have to be before the turn. I guess we can come to, I know that Mr. James had spoke about his property, or the property across the street from that possibly being one right in the turn.
What about the opposite side of the road? Yeah, right where the sunflower is. That's kind of pretty open spot, won't mess with stop signs and nothing. That's a be parallel this way, think about it, won't have no view, good view.
The only,
You can look at it.
only issue that we've had this meeting, this discussion almost at every council meeting, is getting proper ownership of that property there and that property over there, because the town does not own that. Mr. James says he got it from the railroad, so it would have to be, for it to work, you would have to have proper documentation and a deed to the land and all of that to be able to, not donate it to the town, but allow uses of the town. I mean, I think we plant the sunflowers there just on good faith. I mean, but this is something that's going to be 25 years. I mean, God will, maybe not, but a lot of us aren't going to be here in 25 years for whenever, something happens. So we're going to be handing this off to another generation and making sure that all that is in the right place. I mean, and I'm sure and it can't be, the land has to be donated because the money can't go to better private property, right? So the use of the land has to be donated.
It would be a usufruct for 25 years that would provide ingress and egress from the property at all times. Because again, the goal is that people will start driving the byway. They'll have a self-made at all 11 signs. When they do that, like a scavenger hunt, they get a prize from tourism that can be anything from a free lunch at the Main Street Cafe to, it might be that we send t-shirts and swag, or who knows, have a staycation somewhere at a bed and breakfast. But I'm just spending your money right there. But yeah, we definitely want them to drive the byway, stop and take pictures. So it has to be accessible.
I mean, I know.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, are you all prepared this evening to tell us what the icons are that might depict our area in our sign?
Did they try to mention you?
If I remember correctly, I believe it was
Sunflower,
Yes.
cotton, corn, and the racetrack, which is really, racetrack is not in Gilliam, but it's known in the area. So, whatever y'all want. You said we could have 5.
We'd like to submit 5 to the artists and see what they would do with those. Sunflower, cotton, corn, the racetrack.
Do they still do the skydiving out here?
Oh,
Yeah, they do skydiving.
They do gliders,
They do gliders.
This
Fishing.
one? Fishing, okay.
Would be something to think about.
Cattle.
There are a lot of cattle. I almost won the cow game on the way over. And there are no cemeteries.
No, it's the bottoms, they pop up.
Cemeteries?
That's why there's no cemeteries, they're all on the other side of 49.
Oh, okay.
I ain't never seen them popped up.
It's,
Well, that's why there's.
as far as, I mean, without having to go through the process of getting the land donated or the use of the land and all of that legally done, the only land that, and we talked about it a little bit, is the church down the road. You know, actually the town owns that. We have the insurance for it. It's on the byway.
We need to get that sign down anyway.
Yeah, we've been talking about getting that sign down. I mean, that's an option. I mean, as far as without any more legal money being spent or anything legally having to be done, that is, you know, but I'm open to everything else, which just might take us a little while legally to get all of that other stuff situated. I mean, I'd love for it to go right there, but if somebody can figure out who owns that property through that from the railroad, I would love to see that, so.
Well, we also have to talk about the view through it.
Right.
You know, I mean, if it's out here, you've got the satellite dishes, you've got people's houses behind it. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same over here, you're looking at what the post office and
Is there
stuff.
anything on 71 that would give us more visibility?
Well, that's not on the byway.
It has
But
to
it could be
on
on 71 and First Street, because First
Yeah,
Street's
corner.
on the byway.
Right.
Is that correct?
But that-
Right, that belongs
So
to,
3049 and over.
Yeah.
yeah,
So whoever owns on either side,
Well, one of
depending if
them
they're
is-
available.
yeah. front
If they're
yard.
not, they're not, but that would be
That would
the,
be nice to have that because it's more traffic. You know.
and if you look through it, you'd see the trees and one or two homes, but not everything else, if it was on
Does it
somewhere
have
on.
good access where you can pull off and get out and take selfies?
There's ditches
Not
on
really.
that corner, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a ditch, no, that probably would, but it's just the most notable. People come down 71 and they know the festival's right here.
It'd be more scenic.
It may not be the
That's
best spot.
I guess that'd be Newt
It's so small around here, ain't no one look
and
like
Leslie and Newt.
Now, I mean,
It's
the
a big
church
sign,
building
too.
eventually
Yeah,
will
it is.
have that more restored and looking better, and it'll eventually be an event center type thing,
That's the plan.
but I don't know that it's necessarily scenic right now.
Right now,
It's
it's
got
not.
pecan-
To what from what I'm seeing right now, it's not, because with some people, they don't go that way, so you won't see it. If it can be put in this area, like, like we're suggesting, it'll be more visible.
Right.
It just, you know,
It's
we
just on the
may
edge
have
of town,
to,
yeah.
it just that we have
Whoever
to
owned the property.
do more in our town in trying to make it more presentable.
I don't think it really needs to be right in the middle of Gilliam. That's my opinion.
Well, I mean,
Because what is there, what's scenic in the middle of Gilliam?
But you can make a scenic.
right.
You
I
can
mean,
make a scenic.
my concern is that we've got really 2 weeks, and we've been trying to figure out for the last 6 months who owns that property. Are we gonna really be able to figure out who owns that property, get all this done in the next 2 weeks? I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean, that's hurdles that we have to do, and then, you know, and then we have to get a whole separate additional policy for insurance for that piece of property where it would just be an add-on for the church. I mean, I agree that it's on the edge of town, but I don't know if anything else is really,
Well, it's kind of
Well,
when you
you're
come
doing
in.
the loop.
if you're doing loop, I mean, it's just that that's really the only thing we have that fits right now without a lot of legal stuff going on and trying
Well,
to
would
figure
it
out
be
how that's.
perpendicular to that highway, or how would it?
I guess
Because
you,
it's viewed from one side, so you'll want it horizontal.
Perpendicular to the road. You go down the road,
Yeah.
it's this way.
Mhm.
Will the base be painted or just bare concrete?
It's concrete.
I know, but
Yeah, it'll have, so along the concrete, I mean, it'll be, you know, finished nice, but it'll have a couple of, like a little plaque that says Boomer Bust Byway,
right.
a little QR code.
But will it be
that
painted?
takes you to, it's not painted.
It'll just be raw concrete.
but,
Yeah.
It's gonna-
but the
Because part of
metal,
what you're looking at too is you want something that's gonna last.
Right.
And so the metal sign is powder coated.
Okay.
So it'll be something that will last and won't need, you know, repainting every year or whatever.
Do they have lightning compressors? Big steel sign around here.
We are working with an engineer
Okay.
to work on the design of the signs.
Don't be standing beside when it light.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. My point exactly.
You're standing up.
Nobody gonna get hurt anyway.
Oh, yeah, but if you're too close.
If you're too close to that kind of weather, then you're probably looking for it.
We will let y'all know something
Okay.
in the next 2 weeks.
And don't
for sure.
hesitate to call if you've got any
Absolutely.
questions.
Will it be lit?
At this point, not. We had not, that was not included in the grant.
No, that's fine.
If-
Just a question.
If the
Yeah.
town wanted to, or the village wanted to,
Put a
put
small-
lighting
But,
on it,
oh, yeah.
we're
you
able to,
absolutely could.
you know, obviously not, we're not going up there and cut it out or anything, but we can do kind of lighting
Yes.
upgrades and all
Like
that.
a
Walmart's got
spot.
them little lights.
And there
on
is
it.
electricity.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
electricity there.
Yeah, there is. We'll go ahead and get our meeting going all the way. Do y'all have a minute to look over the minutes?
We need to do the ordinance.
Oh,
Ordinance
yes, I'm
first.
sorry. We got to do the ordinance first. The ordinance that was, everybody was here from 5:30 to 6. Or we were here being, if anybody had any objections, nobody had any objections. The ordinance, we need to vote on it. We put it to the last month. We did find out that initially had to change it to every other month. Ms. Helen pointed out to me that that is, we are governed under the Lawson Act, and under that we have to meet every month. So we took the every other month out, so we're still going to meet every month, but we are changing the time to 6:30, where everybody can get here on time, and it won't be an inconvenience. So I guess just get a motion to pass the ordinance, ordinance 3 of 2023.
A
Make
motion.
a motion.
Okay. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Passes.
All right, that's all we need.
All right, so from here on, it's going to be
6:30.
6:30, the first Tuesday of every month. So
Okay.
unless there's some changes for whatever reason, if we can't get a quorum or all of that, but for the most part.
Yeah, that's
It won't be the
set-
time, it'll be more the date changing, but that'll
Set
be the
meeting.
time.
Good.
Has everybody had a chance to look over the meeting minutes from February? Just need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We've got a pretty good bit of new business. Old business, we did pass the ordinance. Is there any other old business? I'm missing? All this other stuff is new business. Well, I guess I can put this in old business. I reached out to Major Fant and got about the speed limit, the speed limit signs in Belcher. They've got, I think he said 3 or 4.
Yeah, four.
4 of them. They got those on the Recovery Act, which that's no longer available. So we don't have the ability to get funding that way. I will keep an eye out for funding, or we could look at purchasing one. They cost them, and I don't know if this is what the price he got when they were $4,000 a piece. So
I got some wood.
they are able to do a bunch of things, like they can give you traffic, tell you how much traffic's going through there. There's a lot of data you can collect from them, how fast people go through there. I mean, it is a pretty unique or nice thing to have to collect data about what's driving through your town, how fast. When everybody's speeding through here, well, you can pull back and say, hey, really this is what everybody's been driving through here, and then graphs and all of that. I will be looking at some grants. I got some information on some grants that I'll be looking to see if any of this will qualify for some of that. And that's really, and I think he said that Detroit got like 600 of them or something, so he thought he could get 4 of them, and he got them for Belcher. So, and that's, I guess, old business. We do need to make a motion to keep Doug Dominique as our town lawyer. We looked at possibly using somebody else, but we already have a contract from him. We used him with the sign, or the mural being painted, getting all of that taken care of. So
Need to
make a motion just for the year 2023 that he would still be our town lawyer. He does, if anybody doesn't know Doug, he does it for, I think, every town up
all
here.
the towns on 71.
Yeah, and I know he's in North City, and then Vivian, and all of that.
And there isn't anyone else besides him? Y'all tried to get someone else?
We really haven't. We just have always used him, so it's kind of like a renewal. We really haven't had any issues with him. I mean, it's a lawyer. They're
He's
expensive.
familiar with the area.
And he's familiar with everything, so, yeah, I mean, if we had to, it would be signing contracts and everything like that instead of renewing it,
He's
so.
familiar with the way the little towns operate, so he's, you know,
Does he live around
he
here?
lives in Vivian.
Yes, he lives
Oh,
in Vivian.
Yeah,
so.
he lives in Vivian. He's
Okay.
from Myra,
Okay.
so he's from the area, so, he does an okay job.
Yeah.
I mean, for what we ask him to do.
Right.
we really
And there's no
don't-
retainer fee, it's only
Yeah,
fees when we
it's-
use him, it's not like we pay him or
Yeah.
anything
Okay.
like that, so.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Yes.
All right, yes, Darnell is not here.
No,
We'll move on to new business, there's a couple of things. Since the beginning of the year, Miss Gail did me a favor by keeping up with when the town hall is rented. She's been doing collecting the money and basically paying the cleaning lady and opening and closing it. Well, she is not wanting to do it anymore, I guess is the best way to put it.
She said she'd do it, but it's really not fair to have her, especially, you know, if it's on the weekend and has to stay here and, you know,
Right.
it's not that hard, but she just did it as a favor and it's just kind of a,
So Darnell, Duncan has, they've approached him about doing it. Right now, we charge $80 a time. $30 of that is a deposit that they get back, so it's $50. The cleaning lady charges $30, right? Or
well,
no?
we don't normally have every once in a while we'll
Okay,
have
okay.
somebody to clean.
What we could do is, what was suggested is pay Darnell 20 of the $50 to open and close and make sure it's clean and everything like that, and kind of manage that every time. It's just $20 of the $50. We really don't make a lot of money on this, and it's really more of a convenience for the community and people of the community
Because
to
he
use
already
it. So.
does the trash.
He does
He
the
does.
trash, yes,
Mhm.
and he
he's already, well, we've already talked, and he's already worried about, he wants to have all the supplies locked up because he seems to think that they kind of disappear when somebody's here, so, you know, he's very conscientious, there's, you know,
Yes,
he's
he
very,
is.
and he loves the town, so.
And if anybody else would like to do it, we will
Yeah.
sure take other options to the table.
We have got that.
That's what I'm saying. We don't want to take the opportunity away from anybody else, but.
Just need to have a motion.
So just a motion, and basically the motion would be Darnell would manage the town hall for $20, a $20 fee per usage.
I make a motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This really isn't needing a vote, but we did have a new business form. They just asked for the franchise information, or the occupational. It's Main Street 2, TOO, is going to be opening sometime soon, right, that's next door where it's at. It's going to be more of a, I don't know, I
Well,
guess.
they're gonna have a band,
Right.
and they're gonna have a bar, and they're still gonna have food.
Yeah, it's just the area, if you've been in there lately, it's just the other area that's right
Just
there
the-
next to it.
hooked
so.
onto it.
You know, if they had hours.
He said that there was not going to be anything as far as very late. I mean,
No.
I know they shut down everything like at 9 o'clock.
I think
usually.
he said probably around 10-ish. It's probably, he said they'll have to see how it goes, but he thinks around 10.
So I'd still be able to walk home.
Yeah.
Well, you could, Drew, you could roll
You
home.
call the police chief and he'll go pick you up. He'll take you home.
I'd
So,
be able to find my way.
So, but yes, he filed for his occupational license and everything this past month.
How can he have liquor there being so
I'm a
close to
DD,
the
you can get
church?
that.
He's okay with
Just roll me out the
serving
door.
He's
liquor.
got a liquor license
Yes.
being so close to the church?
Yeah, and
That
that's
was-
dealt with the parish. We don't give liquor license, so I don't know how he was able to do that.
Well,
so.
we do
That's
here.
We do?
what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
He
you
got it.
Oh, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah,
He's
well,
got
James gets it.
Yeah,
You
like
get
one-
looking like one big stove, you
Yeah.
get looking like.
But he already has it, so undoubtedly,
Yeah,
it
but
was
it's not next to a
okay.
church.
when he opened, I mean, when they
They were
opened.
different
They
than
could
church.
have had it, you know.
Yeah, he's had it for,
He went through the parish.
He within 250
Yeah,
feet of the
so I
church.
guess if they agree.
yeah, he's had it,
They get it all
he's
out.
had the license, because he could
But I
serve,
think
uh,
at the time we
with
didn't
the
have
meals.
ordinance for that.
And what about the library? You're gonna have a bar right next to our public library?
I don't think the hours are gonna overlap.
Still a bar.
I have no issue with it as the mayor. I mean, it's, no, it,
I never saw any signs saying he put in for a liquor permit. That has to be posted in the public view.
that may have been at the parish level, so.
You can't get a liquor license unless you put it in the public view. That's okay.
not sure.
You already
Yeah.
sell. It just depends on what kind of liquor.
Yeah. The other thing is, I guess, Mr. Bobby or Ms. Helen, do you want to speak on what you?
And let her talk about that.
I will. We've got a couple of ideas for resolutions, and of course, the process, y'all would have to throw us in the middle of it, our clerk here, but the first one is a resolution, and I'd like to just, y'all want a copy of it and pass it around. It should be, okay.
Well, somebody will just have to.
And it's two
present
of
it.
them, so you may have, I don't know if I copied them, I think I left some in the copy. But
Right.
We could talk about it.
Right. I guess I can present it, or they can present it
the
first.
first one that I'm gonna talk about is an appropriation idea, it's a financing idea through the state of Louisiana legislature. That's not the one y'all have in your hand. I'll quickly read it. Be it resolved that the town of Gilliam has in its possession a building formerly owned by the Linda Lay Methodist Church.
Wait,
That may not be
it's
correct.
Baptist, Linda Lake Baptist.
Oh,
Church.
Baptist Church, well,
Yeah.
that'll be fixed, that's
Okay.
why I said, you know.
Okay.
I didn't know which one it was one of them. This building was donated to the town, that may not be accurate, I'm
That's
not sure.
right, that's correct.
To be used as a general community facility to benefit the town in providing services to youth and senior citizens in particular, and other services deemed to support the overall well-being of the community. To accomplish this renovation and implementation, we are hereby submitting a request to the legislature of the state of Louisiana to approve an appropriation of $75,000. Be it approved at a regular meeting, however y'all want to do it.
Okay.
This was suggested to us by the state representatives. They have excess budget money. Morning Sport and some of the other towns are applying to have some antique buildings renovated in this legislative session. The session starts April 10th, I believe. So it's urgent that we act. And I was thinking, oh, well, maybe we could ask for 25,000. They said, no, the other people are asking for almost $1 million.
I'd say
I didn't have enough guts
How much
to.
can I ask? I got work.
Could you
Well,
change it?
yes.
If it's out there, why not ask for it?
I was thinking that too.
Because, first of all, ask for an amount, and then what happens?
They cut it down.
They cut it down. So let's go big, and so whatever they cut down, maybe it'll be enough to do it.
And get it
But-
right.
Maybe we'll
We
get
got
that.
friends.
I feel like 150.
Oh, yeah.
One of our state representatives was up here for lunch with a group of people last week, and that's when the discussions came. Representative Cedric Glover was up here, and he was like, you know, and just talking general things, and the idea came up, and I'm like, well, money is money.
So are you gonna do is it a grant, or is it a?
It's an appropriation. It's
So do you
not.
have to fill out papers, or?
What happens is, the process is, the state representative, Cedric, would get a letter to us, and you'd probably have to sign it, maybe the two of you, along with him, and it would go directly to the budget committee.
We just need to get this resolution in the minutes so he can have the minutes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. The second thing is, we have a park here. What is the name of our park besides Gilliam Park?
Right there on the corner.
Well, our wonderful Miss Roberta Payne, and we talk a lot, and you know, some of y'all can probably remember times when you were talking to really smart people like Miss Roberta. Good ideas come forward, right? Well, Miss Roberta had the idea that it would be great if we could name our park the Karen Logan Town Park.
I like that.
And I took the liberty of calling Mr. Danny, and he just thought it was a fantastic idea. We talked to some of the families in the community, and everybody thought it was a great idea because while she might not have done everything for the park, she has worked. She worked so hard for our community.
Certainly did, and
Not only-
those ladies that were here loved her. We talked when we met, and they just thought she was a wonderful person.
And if we could get it done soon enough, resolution-wise, maybe we could get it dedicated for the Sunflower Festival. It would give us May and most of June. In 2 months, you can do a lot if you really get focused.
So is this a resolution?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
for to name the park?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know what we'd have to do process-wise. We could ask Doug.
Right.
But it probably would have to, I don't know what we have to do, but the one thing I do know is the person that it's named after would have to be deceased. In Louisiana, you can't name a building, street, or park after a living person, so.
Put John Walker.
But that's why I'm telling them, so everybody's probably sitting here thinking, well, why can't we name it Johnny Walker?
We're gonna do the sign. What are you gonna set the sign? Take the highway out there somewhere?
I would think probably at the corner right there.
What,
The
the
corner
park?
would be
Oh,
nice.
yeah,
Where
we-
you
yeah.
turn, I would think you could put a
Yeah.
sign there, we out there in the corner.
And it could be, you know, we don't have to have electronic, it could be a nice wooden sign that make, you know, kind of antique looking and nice with sunflowers on it or whatever.
What about a steel sign on a nice big concrete base?
Karen Logan. Karen Logan on it.
That would be nice.
That sounds like a good motion. You know, I was sitting there thinking, But anyway, those are the two resolutions.
Okay, we'll just have to have,
Give them numbers.
What do y'all have to
Something
get
else.
steel
I don't know if
foundation for too long?
Y'all would be interested, but she's talking about for seniors and stuff, and what about veterans?
Veterans would be a good addition.
Even a veteran home,
Oh,
instead of an activity center, a home. Because the VA will give you money to do that.
Same thing, they'll fund it.
To do
They
what now?
will.
Well,
Would they
To
give
build
me
a
money?
veteran's home out of the church, like to have them
You just gotta
living there instead of them being on the street.
well, we don't have staff and stuff to be running.
Well, the VA would come up with all that.
I mean,
I
I
just moved that Mr. Bobby don't do. He's a veteran.
No, like for the veterans that don't have homes.
I mean, if, I would love to see them, I mean, I'm all for that. But that's a great idea and I would love to see it, but who do we need to approach down there for them to come up and give us a presentation of what it would
Veterans
do?
home, they've got an office there, there's an office on Barksdale Boulevard,
Okay, well, I will reach out to them and see.
and they're
what
very
they-
nice. My mom
Well, we
was in
still
the
could do
veterans
this.
home.
So you mean make the whole
The money,
building?
yeah, money.
Money for
Make
Make
it
it
into a home.
ADA compliant and all that.
Yeah, because I mean, the veterans
And
would
they
have
would
to
come and
come.
go too, like,
Because I mean, that would be lovely. I mean, it's gonna take
a lot of work.
yeah, it's gonna take $1 million for them to set it up with that. But I mean, they pay for it,
They
yeah.
will.
Oh, yeah, it's not us, so yeah, it's gonna be a project for them. But I'll reach out to them and,
I don't know how many people you could actually house in there.
right.
Well, some, like, will get a job and go on, buy a home,
Yeah,
or some are just on the streets, they don't have anything. So they start out there and go to their home.
take that out.
Okay.
Put about-
Next meeting, I definitely will bring that
But
up.
that will benefit
Yeah,
the town of Gilliam, I mean,
people that live in.
Okay.
I don't know that if they're looking for jobs and
Yeah,
they're in
they-
Shreveport,
right.
this is a long way to come. If you don't have money for a home even, how are you driving back and forth
Right.
all the way out?
Unless the
Yeah.
VA does that too, get some kind
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
of transportation. I haven't talked to them.
To benefit the
Citizens
people,
that
you
live
know, the
out here.
citizen
Right.
of Gilliam, and, you know, and not like that.
Or
Yeah.
even if it's just an activity center and have some veterans come in, it doesn't matter.
Well, we
Like,
fix it up, I
Mhm.
can do that, but, you know.
Yeah, and I like that idea. I mean, it can I mean, this has a limited area here, you know, and then when they have an activity here, and Main Street's on a Friday night, and it gets crowded. You know?
It's no parking, and I'm gonna tell you, when a lot of time when people do events here, it's kind of crowded. And I thought that was the reason that we was trying to find somewhere enough to fix that deal enough for, and it's a lot of room down
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
But I'll reach out and see what the veterans have to offer and see if it qualifies or something
I
like
mean,
that.
I can
Bring
get
that
you
here.
some names.
Yeah,
on
and-
it.
and-
I know some of them down there
I got
that,
you. Yeah.
Okay, somebody, if Amy or Lynn need to present this resolution, or
For
I'll fix
$75,000 or $100,000.
I'll fix it. I mean, it's okay with y'all,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll put it in there, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Before I forget, because I spoke to, and we'll have some support from Representative McCormick, I assume, well, because he eats lunch here at least once a week. I see him in there. I spoke to him about, there is a meeting
Thursday night.
Thursday night at
Thursday
6.
night.
At the Belcher Baptist
Yeah,
Church.
Yeah. And this is State Representative McCormick's having a meeting about the solar farms, which is really not going to affect Gilliam, the village of Gilliam, but there is one that's going up here that they should be starting on it soon. I think they've already got it all finalized, but they're trying to build even a bigger one down that way. Roundabout deal is the Port Commission has the authority through state legislation over the last 2 or 3 years to basically come in and give any kind of business that's wanting to come in, like the ability to not pay any tax on any of this, or local tax. So they get a bond through the Port Commission, and then they pay the bond back to the Port Commission, and they exclude them from any type of fire department, sheriff's office, school tax, any of this stuff. So it's a very big concern from the local, because you're looking at like a $150 million facility with this solar farm. And they're not going to pay any local tax to the fire departments. I think, talking to State Representative McCormick today, that the Caddo Parish Commission and the school board and the sheriff can say no, you're going to, but like the fire department does not have that ability. It's kind of a crazy way that they push that through at the state level, that they have the authority. Even like the town of Belcher, their concern is they have an ordinance saying that they don't allow industrial type facilities in there. Well, the state last year gave the port the authority to override any of your local ordinance. So you have a neighborhood right here, they can come in and put a concrete plant or a junkyard right next to you as long as they go through the port. Cedric Glover stood up and spoke out against, actually watched the video earlier, in 2021, he came out and passed an amendment to help protect some of it, but it's still in there. So he spoke out against it, and Representative McCormick is very, he's not liking what the port is doing. The port has really gotten real aggressive in buying land, and a lot of land everywhere. And it's like, the concern is what are you doing with this land? You're competing against private people trying to buy land. So there's some concerns about the power and the port only having 9 members that's not elected officials. They're just appointed, having this much of an influence. So there's some big concerns about that, but he's going to be talking about that Thursday night at the Belcher Church, or Belcher's Baptist, at 6 or 6?
It's
6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be there. Just to get off work about 5 for a few hours to come there. So unless I'm on a flight in the middle of nowhere, I will be there. So
I plan on going to.
but it shouldn't affect our town because they haven't really. I think it's up on the Grissom place. Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
think
was
that it'll
further
affect
north
his
on
taxes.
71, and I guess they must change that, they were gonna do that in Houston one time, a little further up on, in Houston, but now I think they're gonna do that right there off the bridge, off the highway too.
I might be able to find out where it's going, because if I'm not mistaken, they're buying the equipment to put the poles down from us.
Yeah, so it's, and the thing about it is it's, you know, it's supposed to be for, you know, the whole idea is like it's developing the community, you know, it's, that's why they get all these tax breaks, is because people are gonna come in. Well, when this thing's done, it's gonna employ like 2 or 3 people, so there's not really a huge influx of jobs and everything with this. And the concern is they're just leasing the land from the landowners, and in 25 years, what are they gonna do whenever these solar panels are not?
They're gonna turn around and leave it.
And that's kind of the concern, and disposing these things are supposed to be a concern. So there's a lot of questions with what's going on, so, and they will, you know, and they've been meeting with a lot of the farmers, so, because it's supposed to be 4,000 or 5,000 acres down in Belcher that they're wanting to turn into solar panels, so it's a big chunk of property down there, so. And I think that's.
Well, Lynn
Well, can we
has,
tap into them?
I don't think that's how that works. I think they're gonna be selling it before, they're not giving us free electricity.
I got more machines too, we're running underground. You know.
I guess we can have an open discussion, and we need to make a decision and vote on where we want this sign. I mean, in
well,
2 weeks.
Lynn needed to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Bad thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not, I mean, I don't mind signing checks if they're made out to something, but I'm not gonna sign a blank check. I'm just not, I
Okay.
just can't do that.
I'm not signing a blank check either.
Okay, well, she said before when we were doing it that she might want you to sign a bunch of them, and
Oh.
I can't do that.
I got you. Okay,
I mean, I could do any other thing,
right,
if I know what it's going to.
absolutely.
Okay.
I've actually reached out to the bank today to get my stuff figured out.
so
finally.
you want to be completely taken off?
Well, I mean, if, I'm not signing blank checks, but I can sign them
Okay.
if they're made out to.
Well, normally they're made out. I might have a couple that I don't.
So, anything you gotta sign?
So, that, you know, that's your prerogative.
You know, unless she's not here, but.
Well, it will be 2 of us,
So,
and Susan.
would you prefer to be taken off then?
Oh, really?
Okay. I don't, we may have to get new minutes, since she was in the other minutes and her name was on there, so
Okay,
I'll call her tomorrow and ask her,
all right.
which I can get the minutes done, because I need.
But if she never does any, I mean, she could just never do any of the
Yeah.
paperwork and then not be on there. And if anything ever comes up and something happens, we can say, hey, she can go fill out the paperwork
Yeah.
at that time, and it's already in the
Yeah,
minutes.
well, but we can't, y'all cannot do it until everybody's done.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Because, I mean, that's just the way the bank is. She said everybody had to do their information, and her name's on the minutes, so I'm
Okay.
wondering if her name needs to be taken off, and then we can go ahead and complete it.
Okay, we'll figure that out. All right, but the sign, I mean, I have no, you know, I guess no stake in the game. I want the sign to be in a nice place, just from a legal standpoint and, you know, in a short time frame as far as.
And the pictures too.
Well,
A
and-
place where it wouldn't really look nice.
Well, where it looked nice would be, but my more concern is if we have it, like, I know 7101, to get Leslie and Newt together, because they're probably both gonna have to,
Well, they'd
Okay,
have
that-
to donate the land.
they'd have to donate the land and have it surveyed. I mean, that's what you run into like that. That's a huge parcel up there, so they're gonna have to get a surveyor out here, donate the land, and, you know, survey that portion off that where they're gonna donate to us. I mean, that's a lot of things that need to happen in 2 weeks that,
And you
and the
probably
town's
have to
gonna
do
have to
dirt
pay for
work
it.
to
Yeah,
make it level for parking and stuff.
And
Yeah.
really, there's not.
Surveying is very expensive.
yeah, and that's not part of their donation. That's gonna have to come off of us as far as if we're looking at doing that. Only option I see, the easiest option to get it done in the time frame is the church, in front of the church. I mean, I don't see any other place that would not cause legal or surveying issues.
And is also on.
That's on the bottom,
roads they're
right.
saying we have to put it on.
Yeah. So, any open discussion that anybody else wants to, I mean, I'm all for ideas, and if somebody can push it through quick, I mean, it's kind of was thrown on us in 2 weeks. So.
Do we have to do it at all?
I think it's good from a community standpoint and being a part of the Boom Byway. I mean, yet Main Street was in there, this, in the brochure. I mean, it comes right through here. We're a big turning point at it. I think if,
Well, y'all are in it too. but-
No,
No, we're not.
Not a word.
That's why I can't get it.
well, we can get you put in.
Well, you will be put on the, in the little queue thing she's talking about, because she said that all the stores will be on it, so when they download that, you'll be on there.
I mean, I just think that, you have these signs throughout and we're getting it donated to us. And we have a piece of property that it can go on. I don't see why I think we would look.
Presented in May, and then we vote on it.
Well, I might reach out to
Yeah, 6:30. I'm pretty good.
You're making one. Old man.
Oh,